jazz hands.
Yeah. Okay. I'm already laughing. I was getting my hair done Thursday, and there is this teacher. See, I told you how I thought I was going to be muted, and I wasn't. So there's this teacher, and she is there's a response to her one of her videos, and somebody said, "Why are you always eating?" So she does this little diagram, and she's like, "Here's actually." She goes, "No, wait. Okay." I'm going to reenact this.
Please hold while Adrian gets her stuff ready.
So she goes, "Here's my business. Here's me. Here's your business, but here's you. Somehow you should be over here." So she draws this little diagram. And then at the end, she goes and does this little like dance. And all of the comments were like, "I died when you did the jazz hands," because we were so expecting.
I love it.
And well, I was like, so when you said jazz hands, that's where my brain went.
It's the truth though, right? I mean, we're all just in everybody. I mean, we're so quick to jump on that bandwagon and go, hey, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Friends, this is Sunday Connections, and today we are very grateful that the lovely Adrian from Lentil Healing
I am grateful
is here to visit.
And how your channel has grown, my friend. I remember, was I like one of your first lives?
I was just going to say you were my very first guest.
And look at how you have freaking grown and the work. Okay, so can I like be very awkward and uncomfortable for a moment?
Sure, I'm a Leo. You're not going to make me awkward. Okay. Go for it.
I love the premise that you started your channel under and the work you continue to do. Just because we're in this like healer community, people still forget that mental health is still stigmatized, even within the healer community. And the fact that you come on and you're very candid and you talk about dealing with anxiety and how it does not make your anxiety and your PTSD does not define you. You have defined it. You walk in beauty and truth, and you use this as a platform so people can say the uncomfortable word, which is, I suffer from depression. I suffer from anxiety, but that does not make me who I am. As somebody who deals with a lot of effed up humans on a daily basis, I wish more people had what you have in you to have that truth. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. And I appreciate that more than you know. And what I appreciate even more than what you just said is basically the exact same thing that you said to me way back when, before I even had a channel. You were in Allie's chat when Allie was interviewing me, and you were kind enough to say that my voice needed to be out there and that you would be supportive of me. And you have been ever so supportive, and I so appreciate.
I appreciate you. I do. So just keep doing the work. So many people need to see other people speaking on it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And we gotta own our flaws. You know what I mean? And like you said, it doesn't define us no matter what it is, right? Bad hair day to having anxiety or PTSD. It doesn't define you. It is a part of you, and you have to embrace it, work with it, and until you are ready to accept that you actually have the control over the anxiety.
Yeah.
And I know that journey all so well, which is one of the reasons why I'm here, because now I'm on the other side of that. And I don't know if you've seen this. So I started a little segment called the Dozen Cats Journal Entry. So I my journal and I just write my thoughts out. And because the month of February is Matters of the Heart, I started writing what matters to my heart. Something that I have been chasing for the duration of my diagnosis was peace and contentment. I wanted that back in my life. And as I was writing it, I was like, you know what? I already have it. And I mean, the tears were coming down, and I was like, amazing to me that I have spent so much time wanting something that I stopped checking in with myself and realizing that I'd already sort of achieved that again. And what a blessing that was. And I still feel like I'm up here somewhere because of that.
We search so hard for frackle macking stuff that's usually we already had. Or if we don't have it, we create these mind maps and these mind stories. And this is where my training in cognitive behavioral therapy comes back to bite me in the butt, but also helps me. We don't realize that A plus B really should be C.
Right.
We'll get A plus B. And then the next letter in the alphabet for a lot of us is at best F. Sometimes a lot of people will go straight to Z. And so then therefore you're telling your mind the story of what you feel like you're lacking is so unattainable. It's so hard. Or if I just do this, this, and this, it'll get there. And it's like, no, it's actually like right there. It's as close as your nose, but you've made this mind story that it is so unachievable. It's so far away.
Right.
And that's not it. And a lot of times, like to your point, it's actually already there.
It's crazy, isn't it? Really, when you think about the amount of time that we waste thinking and hoping and wishing and dreaming and wanting and manifesting and all of those things. And if we just stop to just check in, just
check in. Just check.
Amazing. I'm putting Adrian's link in the chat, and also where you can go if you would like to book a session. We're going to give Adrian a few minutes to talk about her lovely self.
But I can't do that.
I'll do it for you then. Before that, though, I just want to say, so Adrian is here today to help us understand chakras in terms of falling under our umbrella for February, right? Matters of the heart, trying to achieve our overall happiness. Aligning our chakras is a great way to sort of start, and it's easy.
Easier than people think, again, because people say, oh, those chunklet things start with the C. Mercury must be in the Gatorade microwave again, and I'll never achieve it. And then so instead of going A plus B is C, you're going all the way down to QRS, and it's really not that difficult. I have been doing energy work, found me. I did not find it because it just is how it is. Many about 15-ish, give or take, years ago. But it was a very small, slow, painful start. Once I finally was like, okay, I guess this is what it is. It was much better after that. I am a Reiki master, so I am all the way certified. I can teach people how to be Reiki practitioners. I am also trained in shamanic sound healing, shamanic journeying. You did a great session with one of my teachers last week, Jody Roberts. Absolutely amazing human being. Just talked to her Friday, actually. Also trained in cognitive behavioral therapy, different training and healing modalities, because the root of my work is largely based in shamanism, where we are here as sentient beings to kind of help project this earth and keep it healthy. And while a lot of shamans focus more on the birds and the bees and the animals and the trees, I am like, in order to keep them safe, humans have to be healed.
Right.
And if we're running amok, that was funny. That's not where my brain was going, but I just aged myself a million years. If we're running amok on Mama Earth, we cannot take care of her. And so that's why I always say take care of yourselves first and foremost. Then and only then can you take care of each other, because you can't pour from that empty cup. So then we can collectively take care of this planet. And I came up with that tagline like years ago, not really realizing that was in essence my life's mission.
Right.
And so that's just where it stands. I think
it's well said. Well said. I put your website in again. So Adrian does Reiki sessions, tarot readings, energy work, and she also has products that she sells, like sprays and other such lovely items,
which I just doused myself with.
Yeah,
when we were backstage. Let me do some more.
Gave herself a wee squirt. So if you want to check that out, do that. Hi, Aiden.
Hi, Aiden. And I see so many wonderful people. I see Linda and L-I-E-S-E. Is that Lisa?
I say Lisa. Everyone else says Lisa.
Lisa. That's beautiful.
So, isn't it wonderful?
Esther. We see our homie Holmes, Miter, and also I saw Nancy, Linda. We also Sylvia. I think I saw Sylvia earlier. Yvonne. And so thank you guys so much for joining. Question, and you guys can raise your hand in the chat. Have you heard of a chakra before? I think most of you have. You know, these little fun little things. They're not chunkless. They're not little super fat fairies. They're not these little. Oh, so pretty. It's the same deck, by the way. They just use different backs.
Oh.
Yeah, flip your card over. Yeah, same deck, just different backs. Cool. Chakras, these amazing things, little energy vortices that spin in this weird, crazy, fast direction right in front of your body that a lot of people ignore, that is actually part of your body, because your energetic body, which is your chakras, is just as, if not almost more important than your physical body. There's really some people, at least 9, most people, some have said there's like 18 chakras. It gets super complex. I like to keep it bare, basic, Becky simple, because if you, like we were saying earlier with the cognitive things, if you overcomplicate it in your mind, you're going to detach from it and you're not going to take care of it. And I need to take care of their chunklas because they're really important and they are who we are as humans. We can't fight the energetic body. It is us. We are it. It controls us. So how do we work with it? Start from the bottom, which is your root chakra. That is your base, your security. How secure do I feel? Do I feel like I have enough? Do I live in abundance? Am I safe and secure on this earth? It's located in your lower back. Next, you go up to this beautiful orange color. That is your sacral chakra. That is in your reproductives, creativity, feelings, emotions, joy. A lot of complex things live in your sacral chakra. If you can just remind yourself, how do I feel today? That is in essence your sacral chakra. Next up is this beautiful orange color that is located in your tummy. That is your solar plexus, your house of fire. Do I talk a lot and say I'm about to do a bunch of stuff, but I don't actually do it? Do I actually do it? Do I hold myself accountable? Am I coming from a place of being assertive, or am I coming from a place of being aggressive? That is your sacral chakra. Next up is your heart chakra, your place of love. That is, do I give love and do I feel love? These are the feelings. This is how you show it, is up here through your heart chakra. A lot of people kind of get these intertwined and confused. They feed off of each other, but they're very different, serve different purposes. Next up is your throat chakra. Do you speak divine truth? Do you lie a lot?
No.
Why are you lying, girl?
I know.
Lie a lot, or do you surround yourself by liars? Do you speak divine truth that's in your throat and in your ears? Also, next up is your third eye, that beautiful indigo color. Do I perceive and receive information? Your psychic ability. Believe it or not, your third eye is also connected to your tummy. That gut feeling. I feel like some frackle knuckle is about to pop off. That's because your third eye is receiving that information and sending it down to your tummy. Something's amiss. Do you act on it, though? Because if you get psychic hits and you're not acting on it, both of them are going to be off balance. I always say if there's an imbalance in one chakra, there's going to be in your third eye, there's going to be an imbalance in your solar plexus. Then finally, your crown chakra, this beautiful purple color, top of your head, that transcends out, that goes into the higher consciousness, connection to spirit and earth. It literally starts at the bottom, the me chakra, the I, am I safe, am I secure, all the way up to the crown chakra, the we chakra, as I call it, connection to spirit. That's your crash course in the chakras. How do you know if one of these mother suckers is imbalanced? That is the greatest question. A lot of people say they're imbalanced, which is the correct word. I like to also say, thinking of it as overcharged versus undercharged. Think of it as your car has 4 tires. If one of those tires is low or overinflated, your car's not going to drive the same.
Yeah, and you feel that. You really do. You can really feel that.
You're not going to get the best gas mileage. Yeah. And so that's how you need to think of your energetic body as well. If you're feeling insecure, I don't have enough, I'm worried about money, my back is hurting, I'm feeling very disconnected from my tribe, whether it's the tribe that I was born into or the tribe that I have here on earth that I've cultivated. I don't feel this connection to them. I feel scared, but I can't figure out why I'm scared. That is an imbalance in your root chakra. That is the emotional thing you'll feel. The physical thing you'll feel is you'll have lower back pain, knee pain. A lot of people have a lot of lower back. That is your root chakra. That's how you know it's imbalanced. If you are detached from your feelings, I'm a Libra. We don't deal with feelings because we're air signs. So I am quick to say F your thoughts and your feelings. Don't come for me. That's a song lyric. Being completely detached. I can't sit with my feelings. That is letting you know that your sacral chakra is a little imbalanced. Or if you're overly emotional and just hair trigger.
Yeah.
You're overcharged in your.
I was just going to say to you, sorry to interrupt you. I was just going to say I'm a Leo and I'm all in my feels.
Y'all do, but y'all don't act on them. Or you overly act on them. It's very interesting. I'm not about to put all Libra. Don't come for me. Don't at me. Just an observation of my mother was a Leo, so I totally get it.
But you know why we're good friends? You know why we get along?
Why?
Because we both love people.
I don't like people. It's a facade. I'm just kidding. The look on your face! Oh my God! You were like, I had the wrong person.
And thank you for being here, everybody. Have a nice
I care about humans and their experience here on Earth. So yes.
Despite your best efforts, I think it's obvious how much you care.
Efforts. Another thing too, how do you tell if your sacral chakra is imbalanced? If you are feeling not in touch with your sexual drive, if you're overly sexual or just what's the opposite, very low libido, that is actually an issue with your sacral chakra. Another issue that you'll show with your sacral chakra is are you creative? I go through this all the time. Some of the most creative people I have ever met are not artistic. They can't draw a stick figure. They can put a PowerPoint together. They can do an Excel spreadsheet with pivot tables, charts, graphs. I'm like, how did you do that in Excel? People always think creativity means drawing, painting, making music. No, it's how do you even express and show yourself? You may have purple hair. That's how you choose to express your creativity. That is honoring your sacral chakra. I went through a part of my life where I was completely uncreative or overly creative, but wasn't doing anything with it. Had an imbalance with my sacral chakra. Needed to work on it. So those are things you can tell of your imbalance in your sacral chakra. Solar plexus chakra. Are you able to hold yourself accountable? Do you beat yourself up too much? If you say, hey, I'm going to not eat 14 Oreos, you don't eat 14 Oreos.
Or you eat 16.
Those are like, and that sounds so basic. And I don't want anybody to think I'm being trite. I'm just making it realistic.
Right.
You say, I want to save money, but you're going out buying a whole bunch of stuff. That means there's some issues we need to address in our ability to have self-control, self-determination. A lot of narcissists. We know some of them. If they're not narcissists, they're at bare minimum super toxic people who display narcissistic traits, because there is 2% now. I think they just did a new study where they're saying only 1% of humans are narcissists. They're increasing that number to finally say 2%, but 2% is not a big number. Right. A lot of the things that people will say, oh, somebody is narcissistic, is because they're super aggressive. They push their wants and their needs off on other people. That doesn't necessarily make them narcissistic. It just makes them a little bit aggressive. Right. That's a sign that their solar plexus chakra is out of balance. How do you control yourself, your self-control, and how do you act out on the things that you say that you want to do, need to do, etc.? When you are depressed, and I saw somebody with a question earlier, depression really, really, really attacks your solar plexus chakra. Where it is going to interfere particularly is that solar plexus is one of the ways it'll show up. Obviously, people think like sacral chakra, your emotions, your feelings. Yes, that's going to be a symptom is depression, but where it actually shows up and attacks is your sacral chakra or your solar plexus, your ability to take action. That's why when you're depressed, you sleep.
Yeah. because you
withdraw.
literally feel blah, like you feel nothing.
It takes your personal power, and that is what your solar plexus is. It is about your house of personal power. They call it the fight house for a reason, that house of fire. That is where depression really shows up for a lot of people. So, and not saying, and so, and anxiety shows up in your solar plexus as well, because you're overdoing, you're over trying to do all the time. That can be another sign of anxiety that's showing up through your solar plexus chakra. Hopefully this is making sense to people and they can start to draw the parallels of like, oh my goodness. We'll go into how you can get them in, back in balance in a moment. Your heart chakra is your ability to give love and receive love. Can I give love without expecting anything back? Tell y'all a little secret. Mother Teresa was not super giving. Everything she did had a purpose and a reason. She did it for a reason, to feel good, to have ties to something. Yes, you can be selfless. So there's a difference. Complete selflessness versus doing something for a reason. People get those confused, right? It's okay to do something as Mother Teresa did and dedicate her life, but still want something. She wanted a better world. She wanted certain charities to get money. There was also some people argue not so great things that she wanted, but she still did it for a reason.
Right.
No, that's why we say I'm not Mother Teresa. She did things for a reason. Also, can you give love? Can you receive love without feeling guilty? Do you push away love? When somebody's trying to express and give you a compliment, are you like, oh, that's weird, don't do that? You're blocking your heart chakra because you're not allowing people to pour into your cup. For those of you guys who are subscribed to my newsletter, I just came out Friday. I talk about one of the biggest imbalances that's in the heart chakra is our ability to love ourselves. We will give, or think we're giving with no attachment. There could typically be an attachment we just haven't uncovered, and we don't love ourselves. And that is the biggest block to our heart chakra, is not properly, honestly loving ourselves. And loving ourselves shows up in so many different ways. It is, do I set proper boundaries with my loved ones? Do I set proper boundaries with myself? Hey, just because I want it doesn't mean I need to go buy it.
Yeah.
Do I speak truth? When I see a situation, do I wait until somebody asks me if they want my opinion before espousing my thoughts? Do I have enough self-control and self-discipline to love myself enough to show up in a way that's healthy for me and healthy for others? That's the biggest thing to keeping your heart chakra balanced. And that's why I say that I do a lot of when I do a lot of sound healing with people, I work on their heart chakra and their solar plexus. How do you show and demonstrate through the solar plexus chakra how your heart is healed and how you love yourself and love others? Those have a really big tie. Throat chakra, like I said, speaking truth. How do you speak to yourself? I'm not nice to myself sometimes. Okay. I have this thing that I've been saying to my team. I said, do as I do, not as I say. When I say, just because, and I was like, and I realized that in order to hold you accountable, I have to hold myself accountable. So when I say log off and don't work anymore, I need to log off and not work anymore, because you're only going to do what I demonstrate.
Right.
And I think parents, that is some of the key that some parents miss, is I say something, but the words I say don't match my intentions. And that is the biggest part of your throat chakra, that divine truth.
I use the mirror. That's what got me back on track to speak to myself in a kind way, brought on by my own reaction to my overall attitude, I want to call it, when I was first not sure what was happening with me. I was just so hateful on my own self, and I wasn't ever that way prior.
Yeah.
And then I found mirror work, and that allowed me to be able to speak to my reflection in a much more kind way, and also to be cognizant of that I was speaking that way, because there were days when I was talking and I didn't retain.
Yeah.
No, I'd be like, oh, did I say that? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So the mirror work really helped me with that.
I have a trick, and I learned this. I don't remember what therapist I learned this from. A lot of my negative self-talk came from how I was spoken to.
Mhm.
And also too, and then I just kept replaying because that's how I was spoken to and that's how I responded. Then that's how I need to speak to myself. But also being simultaneously very, very resentful of how I was spoken to and how others speak to me. And I had to start asking myself, who's my favorite person in the world? Or my favorite thing in the world? Before I speak this truth, would I say it the same way to my favorite person or thing? And if I wouldn't, I need to stop. I need to rephrase it.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't say it this way to some people, their favorite thing is their child. If I would not speak to my child this way, why would I speak to myself this way? If I love my French bulldog so much, I wouldn't say anything unkind to him. So why would I say that to myself? What gives me the right to say that to myself?
Meghan Markle has a really great quote. And I found it last year when I was doing a show with Allie from Heart and Soul Connected about self-care, self-love on Valentine's Day. And I don't remember it exactly, but it goes something like this. Think about how you speak to your best friend.
Exactly.
And isn't it lovely?
Mm-hmm.
And now think about why you don't speak to yourself in that same way, because you're just as lovely, or something along those lines, right? Which reminded me when you just said that.
And being aware too, making sure that the relationship you have with your best friend isn't the trauma bond. See how it's a little complex, because it may be a trauma bond. Therefore, you speak to each other kind of, and you got to go, wait a minute, which one of us? Because you have to be aware of that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, what do you hear? What are you hearing? Because I'm using myself as an example. Unless it was a harsh reality, unless it was almost unkind, I refused to hear it, because how I defined what truth meant to myself. And that may not be universal. That may be universal divine truth. So they're connected, that throat and that ear. You'll get strep throat, sinus congestion, a lot of sinus pressure in your ears, hearing loss, throat cancer, are just some of the ways that physical manifestations show up. If you get into a situation where you're around people and you physically almost can't speak, that is a sign there's something going on with your throat chakra. There's something there's something in that space, that place, that has literally made your throat close.
It's so interesting that you say that, Adrian, because I was having a conversation the other day with someone about panic attacks, which seems like a random conversation to have, but not for me. And someone was asking me if when I used to have panic attacks, did my throat close up? And I said, yes, it did. I literally could not speak. Nothing would come out of me. And so that's really interesting point that you make about connected to how you hear and filtering through what you're hearing, because it may not be universal. It may just be sort of something from somewhere else, I want to say. Oh, that's lovely, Lisa. Look at that. Lisa says, my friends are here. That's lovely.
It's very true. Things to, and we'll go back to manifestations of the heart chakra. I'm going to come back to that because that's the whole reason we're here today. But going to keep up your third eye. This is actually tied to a gland, your pineal gland. I always giggle when I say that because I'm completely immature and need to grow up. It will calcify your inability to get psychic messages. Everybody's psychic. It's how strong on the spectrum that psychic ability is. We all know when some don't feel right, smell right, touch right. Before we get into it, that's your psychic senses saying, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, I hope you've got rubber boots because it's about to poop like a duck and you're about to step in it.
Yeah.
But when you're blocking that off, when you're not able to kind of get those hits and hear or perceive information, that's a sign that your third eye is blocked. Or if you're having dreams that are wildly intense and you've been ignoring them, why is that? That psychic ability through that third eye shows up in so many different ways. How can you cleanse this? This was probably the easiest ones. Do journaling. Make sure you're eating healthy foods. Stop eating a lot of, those 16 Oreos are still tasty, but that sugar and all that stuff's going to back up on you like a bad case of diabetes, and it's going to show up in your pineal gland. Your sinuses, too, are letting you know if you're super clogged up and you're getting sinus pressure and headaches, or it's starting to drain through your ears, guess you've got sinuses. However, also start working on your third eye, because that's letting you know that something's about to be blocked, or there's some interferences and how you get those messages. Rose quartz helps heal your heart, which can also help open you up to get more psychic messages. Tiger's
eye.
Yep. I'm looking at all the crystals next to me. That
I have my two Smarties with me here.
Yes, those are ways that can help soften the gland, but a lot about that gland is diet and sleep.
Yep.
Those are the best ways to keep that gland from being calcified. And last is your crown chakra, your connection to spirit. Opening and being receptive to feeling spirit, getting out of the me and the self-pity and the woe is me and everything's wrong, and just going, we're all sentient beings living our experience. Kelly and I were talking backstage about a TikTok that I just did, and it was more of the, how do we get out of the me, I've been hurt, into the, this person is hurting, I'm hurting, and we're hurting together. So we just need to have maybe a little bit more grace. And then I can't also let her hurt impact me.
Right.
And that's true work in the crown chakra.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the heart chakra. This one is, hey Jody, this one is just so important. This heart chakra. Grief is for real. That guilt, that inability to deal with loss, that grief gets stuck in that heart chakra. How do you know if your heart chakra is imbalanced? Do you feel angry, but you can't attribute why? Do you feel this pound of loss that is just sitting on you and you don't know why? Or if you know why, but you can't just seem to get over it? Do you have chest pains? And not anxiety chest pains, but just your heavy, heavy heart. Yeah. Are you having a really hard time finding joy?
Sorry.
And feeling.
I'm trying to be so serious. Jody's like, I'm waving at the screen. Sorry. I apologize.
Okay. These are things that show up in your heart chakra, that inability to get over. And not inability as in you're choosing to, inability as in you've got to find the right healing modality to help heal that heart chakra and to get healthy. A lot of this is inability to forgive. You can't move on from a situation. I always tell people forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for yourself. You choose at that moment to regain your power. Step into that solar plexus chakra, that heart, that action, that house of fire, and say, from this moment, I choose to let go, because if I don't heal from this loss, this could result in something really ugly that I don't want. Breast cancer, heart issues, hypertension, lung issues, all can stem from the heart chakra.
It is real, friends. It really is. All of those things that you just said, and I'm nodding and putting my hand up because my doctor told me some of those things. My therapist told me some of the, different things, all within that same category. And just to go back a little bit to the beginning part of what you were saying, my therapist, when I first was diagnosed, the doctor recommended me to a therapist, and they phoned me at home because, they think that you could be on suicide watch or something like that. So they ask you those questions, which is great. We want them to do that. And the second thing that she said was, what are you doing to make yourself happy? And I'm like, what? And she said, well, what do you do? What makes Kelly happy? And I'm like, now, you guys know that I'm honest and I share stuff. And like this hurts my heart still to this day, almost 11 years. It still hurts my heart that in that moment that I was so damaged and so broken that I did not know. And for years, and when I say years, I'm talking 6, 7, 8, 9 years, I did not know what made me happy. And because I didn't know, I then went on a destructive course that of, beating myself up and self-sabotaging myself and being so negative because I had a preconceived outcome to the situation. Nothing is going to work. Nothing is going to make me happy because I'm broken.
And that's that cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
Why are you telling yourself that message?
Yeah.
And why do you keep repeating that message to yourself?
Yeah.
And what are the steps you need to take in your healing journey to stop repeating that message to yourself?
That's when you need to open up your heart to joy. That is when you need to do what Adrian suggested in terms of if there's a forgiveness component, right? You want to claim your power back. You want to invite joy in and realize that those burdens that you're carrying are not yours. They've got nothing to do with you. They weren't meant for you to carry. That was someone else's situation, someone else's thought, someone else's opinion. The hurt is yours. The feeling is yours. The emotions are yours. The reaction is yours. But now you have to figure out a way to be able to work with it instead of against it. I'm still trying to navigate that, but my friends, I'm like 80% of the way there. So,
and it's a process, and it's and it also shifts. I went through some pretty intense therapy a couple months ago as I was transitioning from one stage of my life to another. And the things that I found joy in at that time, my therapist is like, and her, God bless her, she's like, well, go do things that make you happy. I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm not feeling anything. And really, it was that we were saying how this whole conversation started. I was looking and searching and chasing, and in her mind, she was trying to be helpful. What I really needed was to sit my ass down.
Yeah.
I was making myself tired of trying to go ice skate, going to listen to music, when really what I needed was to not think, was to sit down.
Yeah. That quiet, right? Isn't that beautiful? That's a newly discovered thing for me, is to actually shut up. And I know, friends, I mean, really, because that never happens. Just FYI, I know it's hard for you all to believe, but like that moment where you just get real quiet within yourself, and it's okay for you to feel the breath, and acknowledge the thoughts. But I couldn't do that before because my mind was spinning so much. It's a beautiful thing when you get to that point.
I was chasing, trying to feel a high when really I just needed to feel nothing.
Yeah.
And not nothing from a bad way. I just needed calm. I was so triggered and so charged by being in a toxic environment, but trying to heal, knowing good and damn well you can't heal in the same place where you got sick. But then instead of just going, it's okay to just come home and sit. It's okay to, like, the TV's not on. It's okay. Maybe the thing you need to do to be happy right now is just to shut the up, not listen to anything.
Yep.
Sit here like this. Body language experts are like, this is the worst place to sit because you seem closed off. I was like, actually, what you don't realize is a lot of people have internal trauma, and this is a way that we hug ourselves to feel safe and secure. And quite frankly, I don't care if I seem closed off sometimes. I need to give myself a hug. So I'm going to sit here. And this is also my thinking stance. So I need to sit here and think about nothing and feel calm and secure. And
we almost need to have like a speech bubble above her head right there when she just did that with your face.
Just thinking. A lot of y'all don't want to know what I'm thinking. Everybody always thinks they're like, what are you thinking about? That's intense. I'm like, tacos. Tacos. And if some people knew how perverted women over a certain age were, you would blush. Somebody said, women of a certain age. Right?
I'm thinking about those 16 Oreos that you were talking about. But
listen, though,
friend, the struggle is real.
Hypnicity had a comment earlier. Don't forget that you need to forgive yourself, and that is the biggest key. And this is where I want to go back to that, and how I want to close on the heart chakra. We spend a lot of time, once we realize when we're in our awakening and our healing journey, we'll go, I should have known this. I should have seen this. I should have dealt with this. I should have left this toxic situation sooner. I should have. I didn't. I would have. And a different therapist, God bless this. I still talk to her now to this day. And it's cool because we can be friends now, because we couldn't be friends when she was my therapist. But now that I live in another state, we can be friends now. And she calls me sometimes and I call her sometimes and we just chat. And she's One of the best therapists I've ever had.
Beautiful.
And I will say her name because anybody who lives in Texas, I want you to look her up. Her name is Jolene McVean. She practices in the DFW Greater Dallas area. One of the first pieces of advice Jolene gave me, she was like, I was really stressed out. There's things I was trying to deal with. And she looked at me and she said, you know, you're going to shit yourself to death, right? And my lost hearing, I thought she said shit yourself to death. So I completely started to giggle uncontrollably. And she's like, I was like, I'm going to shit myself to death. And she goes, shoulda. And I'm like, what? She's like, you're going to shoulda yourself to death.
Yeah.
Everything I just heard you say is should. You've created this bubble around you of perfection that in the moment you're not going to do anything that lives up to these tasks that you've made yourself do, you're going to beat up on yourself. And then you're going to self this cycle of not feeling good enough because you've created this bubble of I should. She said, be good enough. You're okay. Forgive yourself. When you start to go, and she's saying, what I want you to start to forgiving yourself right now is the moment you say, I should, go, whoop. I will if I can. And forgive yourself for making yourself feel that you had to live to such a high standard. That forgiveness from me and that stage of my life started then.
My aunt pointed out in a conversation that I was having with her just shortly after my mom passed that I don't know. I said I was disappointed in this or that or this person like 18 times.
Yeah.
Was the number. And I was like, what? Whatever. What? I don't even know what that means. Anyway, fast forward many months later, and someone else mentioned to me that I keep saying I'm disappointed. And I thought, well, I need to figure out what this means.
Yeah.
To the point that you were just making and what your therapist said, it's the shoulda, woulda, coulda. The standard that I had for myself was setting myself up to be completely sabotaged at every turn because I could never get to that hurdle.
Yeah.
And it was imaginary. It wasn't ever there. And so my aunt said, ask them. If you feel that they're disappointed, ask them. I thought, oh, I can't do that. I don't like confrontation. She said, well, you're confronting yourself. So why don't you let them have a say in it? And I was like, damn, okay.
Do you know why we do this? We are so scared, and this is where you go back to your feelings. So let's talk to our sacral chakra for a second. Is it that I'm afraid of feeling rejected by others? So therefore, I create these unrealistic situations that I can never live up to. So therefore, the only thing that can hurt me is myself. And I can handle hurting myself way better than I can deal with the fear of somebody and the pain of somebody else being disappointed in me. That all goes back to that fear of rejection, fear of being hurt by others. So we hurt ourselves to get ahead of it, which goes back to why cognitive behavioral therapy. Why does A plus B now get you to Z? And that is very real. It seems complex, but this is what we do as humans. And this is where we got to go back to that heart chakra. When I realize that what I do and what I give, as long as I'm actually trying, is coming from a place of love, coming from a place of genuine intention, coming from a place of wanting to be of service to Mama Earth and her sentient beings, including myself, then it's going to be good enough. Ooh, Jody, you seeing how our conversation from Friday is coming? Using this as a teaching moment. Jody and I set some beautiful intentions on Friday. Side note, I'm going to shameless plugs. If you want a reading, if you want somebody who's very well versed in PTSD, what that looks like, and having somebody who knows that and can do tarot to help you understand that, I need you to go right here to Kelly, Dozen Cats Tarot.
I was going to put Jody's thing.
Well, and here's another one.
Yeah.
If you want to get to the root cause of some deep whys, hows, and how to fix, how to set proper intentions, not your fluffy intentions, or just get into some deep ass shadow work, please go to Jody Roberts. Her bio voice analysis is absolutely amazing. You can email her to activateharmony@gmail.com. Both of these two women I respect and love and revere so very much. This whole point is about how do we heal ourselves? How do we take this next step Somebody said, how do I heal my chakras? There's an easy answer to that. First of all the symptoms I listed out earlier, being aware of it, asking yourself, where in my energetic body is this coming from?
Yeah.
And then being aware, that is the first step. Somebody asked me on Facebook a couple weeks ago, Adrian, how do I know which chakra is broken and how do I fix it? I said, well, it all depends on the symptoms you have. Listen, I'm in enough tax issues trying to have an LLC and a full-time job. I don't need anything else to be on Uncle Sam's radar.
I love it.
Identifying where, starting to learn more about the chakras. There are so many courses you can take, books you can read to really identify when things start coming up. Where is it in my energetic body that's going awry? And then based off of that chakra, how do I work on that chakra or balance all of them at the same time? None of your chakras are ever going to be completely balanced at the same time for any given reason for long periods of time, because we're humans and energy shifts. How do you get them balanced all together at one good time? Use things you can do. You can get a Reiki session. Reiki, that is the whole point, is to go in and balance the mother suckers out. It's like going and getting a tune-up on your car. Second thing you can also do is do some, a lot of people never get past level 2 Reiki because they don't want to. They just want to know Reiki so they can go in and to work on their own chakras and heal themselves. Go do that. There's some short-term fixes. You can get your crystals. Eating, all of the chakras pertain to colors, and all those colors pertain to certain foods. You can go eat the rainbow, eat the chakras, if you will.
And probably not ice cream flavors.
Not ice cream flavors. You can do some great deep journeying and shadow work to figure out where the issue keeps lying and kind of working on that. But there's so many different ways, but it all starts on being educated on the energetic body, knowing where things are showing up. And then I'm going to give the last one. And if anybody has done work with me, they know this. We are so unaware of our traumas and how they lie in our DNA and our energetic body. We need help, long-term help, to get through that. And that's where I say some type of third-party help, that therapist, that support group, that to help you take a look at yourself, and a good hug from a kitty can also always help. So short-term answers and long-term answers, because for the sake of time, I just want to keep it simple. Doing the research, being intentional about where are these kids off balance and how do I fix it is the start. And there's a multitude of ways to balance them. But seeking professional help, there's nothing wrong with it. Even every reader I know goes and has work done on them.
Yeah.
Help keep their body. Keep that car, girl. You don't buy a Maserati and then run it to the ground. You get your oil changed. You get new tires.
Like what Adrian's saying is, we don't wake up like this, is what she's saying. There's work that needs to be done.
And Miter said, stop doing shadow work because it brought Miter so much pain.
Yeah.
That is where you felt that heart chakra, that guilt, that embarrassment came in.
Yeah.
But that's okay to love yourself and go, you know what? These were unhealed things that are now brought to the surface.
Right.
I did the best that I could, or I dealt with the situation the best way I could at that time. And now I get to chart a new course. I forgive myself for that.
Yeah.
And now I get to start a new course and continue with the shadow work to go, what other unhidden things do I need to deal with so I can be healthy and happy?
Absolutely. Well said, Adrian. Well said.
This is life, Lord. Ooh, I have this. I've had some really interesting clients this weekend. And I realized in my work as a healer, I was like, I giggled in a sick way because I said, my healing is I have to remind myself that I can't fix everyone.
Yeah.
And no matter how much I want to help, how hard, and the guilt that I start to feel when I can't help everybody, I have to remember that this is their journey and their path that they have to go down.
Right.
And so, and I say that to be vulnerable, to say that even healers, we're not perfect. We don't have it all figured out. We're still humans living in this very human experience.
Yeah. Jody says there is another side to shame.
There is.
Excuse me. And that's so important. Thank you for saying that, Jody. That's what Adrian was trying to allude to. And Miter, you know what? Like, my heart goes out to you because I understand what that spot feels like.
Yeah.
Be super kind to yourself, and try maybe to do some journaling or possibly even some mirror work. Being kind to the reflection that you see back in the mirror. Start there. Just have a conversation by saying, like, you know, you look nice today.
Yeah.
I like your smile. You look maybe like you could use some extra sleep. So tonight we're gonna have like we're gonna implement a better sleep hygiene routine. Those kinds of things. Just be kind to yourself. You need to allow yourself the opportunity to catch up.
And also ask yourself, did I honestly not know better? Because a lot of us don't know better. Hurt people hurt people. So if somebody was hurting, they hurt you. You didn't know any better, so you hurt somebody else, even indirectly. Yeah. And that's okay. It's where you go next. Or even if you maliciously hurt someone, you can still go, you know what? I did that. That wasn't right. It may have felt right at the time, but I've grown. I see the error, and now the whole is the next step. Now that I have this information, what do I choose to do?
Yeah. And okay, listen, mister, you can't come on the desk and start to play with all my crystals, because literally that's what he's doing. If I'd move the camera, that's what he's doing. He's like, hey, the crystals are out. It's hockey time. Yeah. But the point that I was going to make, and not to make an example out of you, Miter, because everyone in this chat and everyone here has experienced this. And at one point or another, if not more often than that, we all forget us in the equation of life, right? We always come last for whatever the day may be or the reasons may be. This is a moment when you recognize that you have something within you that might be broken or disjointed. This is an opportunity to go in and put a Band-Aid on it and fix it, right? To work with it rather than against it, and to learn what you can from it, so that moving forward, you're actually moving forward instead of feeling like you're spinning your wheels.
Yeah. I always say, and it sounds, and I don't mean to keep repeating this to sound like a broken record or trite. It's once you get to that point, literally, what path do you take moving forward? It can even be as so much as going, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
That alone is speaking, I don't want to hurt anymore.
Yeah.
That's the step. So then how do you make that intention? I live in peace. I walk in peace. I walk in beauty.
How are we going to make the intention that you don't come on my desk and play with my crystals while we're live?
Yes, I would rather not, because I like cutie face.
This is Austin.
Austin.
And Austin doesn't know it yet because he's a cat. And I don't want to upset him. But we are about to have a meet and greet tomorrow morning for a new furry family member. Potentially. A Maltese breed, a crossbreed Maltese dog puppy, 9 weeks old, where her and her siblings were removed via police seizure, I guess you want to call it, from a breeder that wasn't doing right by the animals. And so she's got some issues, obviously. And I really hope that the meet and greet goes well, and that she shares like how I'm feeling, the opportunity to be able to provide her, a loving home. Austin knows something's going on, but he doesn't obviously know that it's a dog.
Yeah.
But he knows something's going on because he's been extremely mischievous today, going like, "Hey, things are moving. What's happening?"
So I feel the shift. What's about to
Yeah.
change?
Yeah.
I'm about to be a sibling
Yeah.
potentially. That's what's going to change.
Yeah. He's going to be a big brother again.
That's going to be fun. I always admire people who can have pets. That's fun.
I wanted a dog for a very long time. It helps me. It's a companion in a different way from a cat. And as most of you guys know that follow me, I started my one step at a time where I'm leaving the house now. And in an effort to continue that momentum, I feel that the dog will help me to get out of the house. It will encourage me. So we'll be helping each other in that department. You guys, she's 6 pounds.
She's so little.
She's like this big. Like, we were trying to find a color for her, and I'm like, I mean, like, how? We haven't met her yet. That's just from the picture and from the description. But I mean, she's like no big. My little cat Charlotte is bigger than she is. So it's gonna be fun. So we were going through a list of names this morning. Scrolling. And of course, my husband's like, no. And I was like, whatever. I'm going to do that, Rose. I'm going to practice the energy healing on the dog. I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
Sorry, I digress. Sorry, I'm so excited I can barely contain myself. I'm trying to be cool though.
Yeah, I'm gonna live this vicariously through you.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say thank you to Adrian for coming here and for sharing her wealth of knowledge when it comes to chakras. And honestly, you guys, this is like the tip of the iceberg. It's like
very much so
version, right?
I try to keep it simple. I don't want anybody. I try to give people enough where you can start to get pique the interest. And then again, there's so many resources if you want to learn more. So many very, very qualified people you can ping and ask. It can get complex, but it's only as complex as you want it to be.
Right.
But starting with the basics, understanding what those little fun colors meant, what they mean for your body, and what you can tune into, and how you can harness that energy to understand when something feels amiss. It's something in you, and it's very easy to work through.
So what we're going to do, of course, I put Adrian's link in the chat for her channel. I also put the link in if you wanted to book a reading or a Reiki session or buy any of her products. We're going to throw some cards and just sort of get like a collective reading based on, based on like your happiness, right? What's going to bring some joy in for you? And while we're shuffling off to Buffalo, as my mother used to say, what's coming up for you, love? Where can people find you in the next couple?
Lately, you can find me at the JOB. No, you can find me coming soon on Patreon. Going to start doing some more intense personalized stuff on Patreon. You can find me on the YouTubes, Red Lentil Healing. You can find me on all the socials, Red Lentil Healing. And then I have no idea I have a reading coming out next week, a sound meditation coming out the week after that. No live streams coming up because your kid has been working like a dog and can't seem to find time. But it's only going to be temporary. Work will calm down at some point. Then I can go back to doing more lives. But for now, find me on the socials. Go to my channel. I just did a reading about Dumbledore. Yeah.
Awesome. So news bulletin. Tomorrow I'm going to be on with Tarot Stash at 2 p.m. Eastern. And on Tuesday, I have Allie from Heart and Soul Connected, Nancy Jean from Nancy Jean's Garden, and Linda G joining me for Matters of the Heart, where we will be having a discussion, maybe toss some cards, who knows, just trying to give back to you all on the Day of Love what you all give to us, and really just trying to, embrace everybody. That's what it's all about. And I'm so grateful that all those ladies are coming together to do that. And then I'm taking the rest of the week off, friends.
Good. Time off, healing yourself.
Spend with my family. My husband's on vacation and didn't tell me. And I'm like, what's up with that? No. Bum, 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 bum. Okay.
This is, I mean, you can't make this up. I was throwing cards. Heart chakra, you guys, and it really is balance. This is what talking about giving and receiving love. Let's be aware of how we give love and how we receive love. Are we pouring too much into the cup and it's overflowing, but not having any poured into us? I was doing that so you can see the opposite ends of the spectrum. Heart chakra, give without expectation, but also receive without guilt. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Free your heart and the rest will follow. I am not guilty for receiving love. I forgive myself and others for any transgressions, and then go forth and prosper. It's that, I hate to say it's that simple, but that's the end result.
Yeah.
And that's the end result of the hard work you're going to do to get to that point. Spirit's got a message for y'all though, for real though. Remember how I was saying the solar plexus chakra and the third eye chakra are connected. When you have an imbalance in one, you've got an imbalance in the other one. Look at all of this psychic ability stuff that's coming up. Self-esteem and 3. I didn't even pull anymore after the third eye card because I was like, apparently Spirit wants us to understand something. For right now, when you get a message, when you feel something, I need you to act on it. Stop ignoring your psychic gift. Stop ignoring the information that's coming up to here that you're trying to perceive. It's telling you, Spirit has your back right now and is trying to tell you something. Go ahead and act on it. And that's kind of simplistically what it's telling you. Starting with your heart, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Move forward. And it's okay. You don't have to live in the past. Regret is living in the past. Move forward. Forgive yourself. And you're equipped with the tools on how to move forward, how to get to that next step. Whatever message you're getting, you can go ahead. You'll be safe and supported by Spirit once you act on it.
So interesting. So I got Inner Child. I love this card. This card reminds me of when my sister and I were little and we would follow our parents around to different events that they would go to. And then all the kids would hang out in the hotel room and you have those 2 double beds. And, we're little girls and we have nightgowns and we try to jump from bed to bed. But then our nightgown, our legs would only stretch so far. Then we would fall down. It was like a whole thing. And that was our entertainment. And every time I look at this card, I realize that's a bit of a jump. But that's literally what I think of is us jumping across the beds.
Love that.
Your inner child is the thing that is most often, in my experience here on YouTube anyways, what people are broken from or what they're trying to sort of heal or navigate a wound from their childhood. Speaking to what Adrian said about the forgiveness, it is not your fault. Your childhood is, you were there. That's that's all you're accountable for. You were there. Everything else that happened to you, it had nothing to do with you, right? I've got turquoise here, which is awaken your empathy, right? Talking about the self-care and the self-love. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love anyone else. And if you don't love yourself, how do you know the love that you deserve?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I give that.
No. We have this beautiful ram, which is perseverance. I love these cards. They're so pretty. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. We went right up here. Did you see how I did that? With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. And the last card that I pulled is from the Sea Soul Journey Oracle. And we have powerful. May you be as potent as the ocean. So look at that, friends. We've got 2 water cards, right? And we've got the green and the yellow from the heart chakra and from the solar plexus. So there you go. Can't make that stuff up.
Yeah.
Sylvia says, I'm going to bring my giant rose crystal by my bed. Maybe that will help. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. And the last thing that I want to say is, put your hands up by your heart and do some self-soothing, right? Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, slowly exhale through your nose. And while you're doing that, check in with yourself. Tell yourself that you are a phenomenal person, that you love yourself, that you accept yourself, flaws and all, whatever words you want to put in there, right? It is a moment for you to give yourself back what you do every day to everyone else that you meet and greet. Give it back to yourself. That's how you can start to learn how to love yourself again. And also recognize that perhaps you weren't loving yourself as best as you could and didn't realize that you were not doing such a great job of it.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. If anybody wants more in-depth knowledge, Dr. Judith is fantastic. By looking at her books, Wheels of Life is fantastic. Very deeper level of just understanding chakras and the complexities of life. You can go very basic. There's some really good intro level books, but take the time, do the homework. It's not scary. It's a lot of fun. And you can dig into it and help heal yourself.
Absolutely. All right, friends, we're going to leave it here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please do go show my friend Adrian some love. Red Lentil Healing on YouTube. You can check in the chat for her website as well. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. And until I see you again, mwah, many blessings.
Bye, guys.
Bye.